In this video, you're going to see 10 quick, easy, and functional prints for car audio. First up is this right here, which is one of the main reasons why I wanted a 3D printer in the first place. This is a 6x9 to 6.5 inch speaker adapter. You can see here it's branded, it says Helix. Helix didn't make this one. This is what the 3D printer world calls a remix, where a user took an existing design, this one right here, and tweaked it a little bit. Don't know how well you can see it, but you can see these ridges right here. That was designed to fit a very specific Helix speaker, but this speaker isn't gonna fit. It doesn't fit inside those ridges. So somebody did a remix and widened it a little bit. And as luck would have it, this beautiful DD audio, these things sound amazing by the way, the screw holes line up perfectly, so that's really cool. This was brutally easy to print. All I had to do was download the file. Before you do this, take a minute to read the licensing for anything you download. Some things allow you to share, some allow you to share with attribution. Some of these files are in the public domain, which means you can do whatever you want with them. Some files are marked for non-commercial purposes. So all the ones that I downloaded are all marked for commercial purposes. All you have to do is attribute the original author if you do a remix or try to sell them or anything like that. And I've got those attributions down in the video description. Before you download one, you're going to want to make sure that you measure your speaker. This is a driver I've had sitting around for quite a while, and as you can see, it's not going to fit inside this 3D print. This of course is a pretty complicated design with these ribs here for strength, and it is quite strong. It's definitely stronger than the kind of inexpensive 6x9 to 6.5 adapters that say Crutchfield throws in free when you buy speakers. Up next is a 3D print of my own design. This right here is a 3D printed version of the dash pocket delete in my pickup truck. I made the original version out of acrylic. I cut acrylic on the laser and then stacked up layers of acrylic in order to make that. The 3D printer was a lot easier. Not only was it a lot easier, the material cost is a lot lower. Once you have purchased the machine, this is just a couple of bucks in filament. I was able to print this for about half what I spent on the cast acrylic to build the mount. And also, if you'll take a look right here, don't know how well you can see it. You can see these grooves right here and these little tiny circles. Those circles are the screw holes for the bass knob. And the way this works, there's a circuit board piece on the bass knob that slides into that little notch. So when I did the original version, I had to build out a bass knob holder for my bass knob. Here I can just print it. And of course it is plenty strong. Next up are speaker grills. I printed this one right here in white to match the white lettering on this Savard Hi-Q subwoofer. And I had to modify this a little bit. This was actually an 8-inch size. I shrunk it down to size in the slicer software so it would fit the 7.25 roughly inch width of this Savard speaker. This is a 6.5. And because this little guy has a lot of excursion, I stretched it out long ways like this so I can mount it like this and have plenty of clearance so I don't have to worry about the surround hitting the speaker grill under extreme excursion. Here's an example that I printed just to try out when I was prototyping, and these are a little flimsy. So this one I did some extensive modification in the slicer software, and these are a lot stronger. I went into the Creality slicer software and I added a modifier that just went over the area where the grill is and dramatically increased the wall thickness in this zone here to make it stronger. And for this larger 12-inch grill, you're going to want to do something like that because this is super bendy, but with that extra infill, it's solid as a rock. Here's another quick print. This is an A&L fuse holder with a lid. You just put a couple of bolts in here and you can put an A&L fuse across this. You do need to add an extra layer on the bottom or at least some electrical tape, or else the bolts will short out against any metal they happen to be touching, thus negating the point of the entire fuse. This one came with a cover and I snapped the cover on. And I noticed there's no way you're going to get even a 4-gauge wire in that hole, so that's maybe an 8-gauge wire tops, and why do you need a big A&L fuse with 8-gauge wire? So this is one I wouldn't recommend. This one on the other hand is for a mini A&L fuse holder, and you can see there's plenty of room for a 4-gauge wire. There's our A&L fuse, perfect fit, just need a couple of bolts. Again, the bolts are exposed on the bottom. Electrical tape or another layer will fix that. But a quick, easy, functional download. I recommend that you print it in ABS. This PLA will melt at a lower temperature than ABS, so it's not really good for under the hood or even inside the car where the temperatures get pretty brutal. But something like this will work great on my test bench. The printer I'm using for all of these prints is a Creality K2. It came with their filament management system, the CFS. It holds 4 spools of filaments for multicolor. This thing is huge. It's got a 260 millimeter built build volume, that's in all three directions, so 260 cubic millimeters. 260 millimeters, that's just a hair under 10¼ inches. This is a corner protector for the corner of a speaker box. So you would take it and put it right here. It's got bolt holes so you could bolt it in. And of course you could put one of these on every corner. The original version of this was really big and it was like an 8-hour-long print. So I actually went into the slicer and scaled it down by 50% because I needed this printed so I could make the video. If you happen to do that, be very careful, because if you do that, your screw holes are going to scale down by 50% as well. This right here could look really awesome if you were to try different types of filament. There's some PLA out there that's designed to have a very smooth look. And of course, any color you can print in, you can mix and match and make a colorful speaker cabinet. Is it very functional as feet? I don't know, maybe not, but I think of it as more of a decorative item. And it's pretty sturdy. If you're gonna use it in a car, print with ABS. Don't use PLA if you're gonna put it in the vehicle. All right, this is a cool one. It's one I just downloaded. I think it's designed for a BMW. It is a sail panel with a tweeter hole in it. I don't have a tweeter that fits the hole, or I would show you how it looks. All my tweeters I have laying around are too big. That's what she said. But you get the idea what that would look like. Here's another tweeter that's just a hair too big for it.
That's what she said.
A couple of bucks in filament cost. You can print it any color that you like. You can, of course, prime and paint these things if you don't like any of the colors available to you. So there we go. It would look something like that. Obviously, the tweeter would be stuck down in there. The trick with these, if you're just going to download one, you got to find one that's going to fit your actual tweeter. This tweeter is 1 3/4 inches across. You could probably sand it down a little bit and make it fit if you had to. Another really quick, easy print is this right here. This actually came from Kicker's website off the same page where they sell speaker grills for their speakers. Some of their bigger, high excursion subwoofers, the grills are not deep enough, and so if you want to use one of their grills, you need a spacer between the box and the grill, and that's what this is. This is a spacer. They have a couple that you can download. This is going to give you a little extra clearance, so your big beefy Kicker subwoofer doesn't hit your nice Kicker branded grill. And of course, you can print this in any color that you want. I can see doing like a blue to match a Comp Q, or a yellow to match a Comp C, or a red to match the Comp R. It's cool when manufacturers provide resources like that. Speaking of Kicker, another thing that you can do is you can build decorative items. So this is Kicker stylized K logo. I did yellow and blue just to see how it would look. Blue would be their Comp Q color, yellow would be their Comp C color. You could print something like this any size that you wanted, stick it on the speaker box somewhere as a decorative element. This is very small, so it's just a few cents worth of filament and you're off and running. Several brands that I've worked with have granted me the use of their logo whenever I make videos with their products. This is the logo from Prodigy. They call this the Noisy Boy. It has a raised Noisy Boy on top of this white background. My original thought process was I could emboss this. That's what I was thinking with this. This is recessed, so it's debossed. My first thought with these is I could print these out and I could cover these with vinyl and have a nice embossed logo. Then after I printed this one out, I realized, wow, you can just use this as a decorative element. So I printed one that was a little bigger. It is off center for those out there who are worried about that kind of thing. Imagine just like a spot in the carpet that you left open so you can just stick this on there. So I'm probably going to try that out the next time I do a build with one of the Prodigy subwoofers I've got sitting around. Next up, we have these little tiny pieces of plastic right here. I love these because these are really quick and easy prints. They don't take long at all. What we've got here are 2 holes in this piece of plastic, a couple of screw holes. These are sized for 4-gauge wires. So these are wire hold downs. There are several retailers out there that will sell you these things, but you can print your own. And if you don't like the pre-made designs that are out there, you can definitely design your own. This one right here also came with this neat little clip. This is designed for RCA, so your RCA wires would feed in sideways through this and then clip in. You could probably clip speaker wire in there as well. A big trend in the industry right now in the whole clean wire world is to 3D print these things or buy 3D printed ones. I don't actually have any intention of selling 3D printed ones. I'd rather talk you into buying the Creality printer that I use to make these things and let you explore 3D printing for yourself. I've actually had a lot of fun learning what's out there, and it's kind of cool to try all the different settings on your 3D printer. This right here is a dash plate that I made out of 1/4-inch ABS years ago for my pickup truck. Originally, I made some with a great big hole like this right here because I had surface mounted some tweeters and I was using a mid-range, not this exact one, but one near the size of this one, up in the dash holes of my truck. As I've got the speaker in there, I can tell it's kind of flimsy. You can see it bending because this is only 3 millimeters. It's not very thick. But if I wanted to make it stronger, I can increase the infill or increase the layers. Even if I were to double the layers or go to 50% infill, that's still not going to really increase the print time or the filament cost. In this updated version, I made the screw holes slots instead of holes. That way, if I don't have the exact measurement right, I've got some wiggle room. I designed it for this tweeter here. This would probably drop into most any car with a 3.5-inch dash. I would recommend in a car printing it out of ABS for the heat resistance and going from 2 outer layers to maybe 4 outer layers. And last but certainly not least, one of the main reasons why I wanted a 3D printer was to print my own arrow ports. And so I've been tinkering around quite a bit to get the exact perfect arrow port. And what I noticed, I don't know if you can hear this or not, let me put it by the mic. The texture is kind of rough as it makes the layers. You can see it here, and I can feel it when I rub my fingers across it. So for something like this, you actually want to decrease the thickness, the layer height inside the slicer software, and you'll get a much smoother transition here. One thing I don't like is there is a seam. I know you can see it right there. There's a setting in the slicer where you can make that seam random. I tried that out and it actually made flaws all around it instead of just on that seam. I don't think that helped with the smooth airflow. The issue with all these things from a cost standpoint is they've got a very low marginal cost. The cost of making one more thing is very low, but there's a big upfront cost, not only in the printer itself, but in the design time. So that's why when people sell you 3D printed parts, they're kind of expensive. But if you have the 3D printer, you can print the parts off for virtually nothing in terms of filament cost. Before I go, I want to say thank you to all of my patrons over on Patreon, with a big bonus shout out to $25 and up patrons, Jonathan, Timothy, Joe, and Bo. Head over to Patreon today so you can get behind the scenes, updates, and early access to videos. I'm Justin. This is the DIY Audio Guy YouTube channel, and I will see you on the next adventure.